we aren't just going to give you a list of job titles. We are breaking down the 7 best STEM careers for K through 12 students to explore, focusing on what they actually do on a Tuesday morning at 10 a.m., why they matter for the world, and how you, as a student, can start building the skills today so that you aren't just starting from scratch later. If you want to stop guessing and start building a path, then you're in the right place. And if you're serious about your future, make sure to hit that subscribe button below for Tiggbee. We're here to give you a broader view of careers and opportunities out there. So let's get started. Career 1, the architect of the digital world, aka the software developer. All right, let's lead with the heavy hitter, software development. People hear the word coding and they immediately think of math. But software development is actually much closer to writing a story or building with Legos than it is actually solving a calculus equation. A software developer is like an architect. Instead of using wood and bricks, they use languages like Python and JavaScript to build digital structures. Think about your favorite experience on your phone, whether it's the way the character moves in a certain game, the smoothness of the TikTok scroll, or the way that your bank app lets you deposit a check with a photo. That is the work of a developer. They take a human problem like, man, it's hard to find a ride home, and then they build a solution, aka Uber. So why does this matter for the future? Every single company is now a tech company. A hospital needs software to manage patient records. A fashion brand needs software to run an online store. An NBA team needs software to track player health. When you learn to develop software, you aren't just getting a job in tech, you're getting a golden ticket to work in an industry you are passionate about. What this actually looks like? On a daily basis, developers spend their time debugging, what is a fancy word for looking at code that isn't working and figuring out why. They collaborate with designers to make sure the app looks good, and with users to make sure the app feels and flows right. So, how do you start now? If you're in K through 12, you have a massive advantage. You can start with Blockly or Scratch to understand logic. Then move to Python. Don't just learn code, try to build something. Build a calculator, build a simple website for your dog. The moment you move from using technology to creating it, your value as a student triples. Career number 2, the digital detective, the data scientist. If software developers build a world, data scientists explain it. We are currently living in the age of information. Every time you like a post, every time you search for a pair of shoes, and every time you use a GPS, data is created. But data by itself is just a pile of noise. It's useless. A data scientist is like a high-tech detective. They look at massive piles of numbers and find hidden patterns that nobody else can see. They answer the question, what is actually happening here? So, what's the real-world impact? Let's look at Netflix. How does it know you love that random documentary? It's not magic, right? Data scientists at Netflix analyzed millions of users to see that people who liked show A also liked show B if they watched it on a Friday night. They turned raw numbers into a recommendation engine that earns the company billions. In healthcare, data scientists analyze thousands of x-rays to help doctors spot cancer months earlier than the human eye could. The practical breakdown? You don't just sit and look at spreadsheets all day. You can use tools like SQL and R to clean data, and then you use visualization tools to show your boss a chart that says, hey, if we change this one thing, we could save millions of dollars. How to start now? Do you like puzzles? I know my kids do. Do you like looking for trends? Start by playing with Google Trends, for example. Look at what people are searching for. Start learning basic statistics. If you can learn how to explain why something is happening based on evidence, you are already thinking like a data scientist. All right. Before we hit the next 5, let's be real for a second. The world is getting more and more competitive, and if you wait until college to start thinking about this, you're already behind. That's why we created Tiggbee. It's a platform designed to bridge the gap between school and the real world. If you want more videos like this that actually respect your time and give you substance, please hit subscribe button below and turn on notifications. It tells YouTube that you actually care about high quality career content. All right, let's keep going. Career number 3, the physical intelligence expert, aka the robotics engineer. Now, let's get physical. Robotics engineering is the crossover point where computer science meets mechanical engineering. A robotics engineer doesn't just build a Tin Man, they build the systems that can interact with the physical world. This includes the massive arms that build Teslas on an assembly line, the tiny nanobots that doctors might one day inject into a person to fix a heart valve, and the Perseverance rover currently rolling around on Mars. Why this matters? We are entering the age of automation. Tasks that are dull, dirty, or dangerous are being handed over to robots. We need engineers who can not only build these machines, but make them safe and efficient. If a robot is going to assist an elderly person in getting in and out of bed, let's say, it needs to be incredibly precise. That precision comes from the engineer. What the job feels like. It involves a lot of prototyping. You might build a version of a robot claw, realize it's too heavy, and have to go back to your 3D modeling software to redesign the joints. Then you have to write the code that tells the motor exactly how much pressure to apply so it can pick up an egg without cracking it. How to start now. You can join a FIRST robotics team or a VEX robotics club at your school. If your school doesn't have one, try getting access to a kit or a Raspberry Pi. They are cheap pocket-sized computers that let you control lights, motors, and sensors. When you can make a light turn on by writing a line of code, you've taken your first step into robotics. Career number 4, the guardian of the planet, environmental scientist. STEM isn't just about screens and metal, it's about life. Environmental science is one of the most critical fields and popular of the 21st century. As our population grows and our climate shifts, we need people who understand the incredible complex relationship between humans and Earth. An environmental scientist is a mix of a biologist, a chemist, and a policy advisor. They might be in a forest one day taking soil samples just to see how a nearby factory is affecting trees, and then the next day they might be in a boardroom explaining to a CEO how to make their company carbon neutral. Think about clean water. In many parts of the world, even in cities in the US still, access to clean water is a major struggle. Environmental scientists are the ones who design the filtration systems, track the pollutants, and find sustainable ways to keep the water flowing. They are also the ones working on renewable energy, finding ways to power our world with sun and wind instead of coal and oil all the time. Why it matters for you? If you are someone who feels a deep connection to nature, but you also have that logical scientific mind, this could be your path. It is a career with a deep sense of purpose. You aren't just earning a paycheck, you are literally working to ensure that our planet remains habitable for the next generation. How to start now? Get involved in a local conservation. Start learning about your local ecosystem. There are apps where you can log plant and animal sightings to help real scientists track biodiversity. You can study chemistry and biology with a focus on how they apply to the real world, not just in a textbook. Career number 5, the life-saving innovator, the biomedical engineer. So, what happens when you take the problem-solving mindset of an engineer and apply it to the human body? You get biomedical engineering. Some may say this is arguably the most heroic STEM career. If a doctor's job is to use, let's say, tools to save a patient, a biomedical engineer's job is to invent those tools. When someone loses a leg in an accident and is able to run a marathon 3 years later using a carbon fiber blade, a biomedical engineer made that possible. When a person with a failing heart receives a pacemaker that keeps them alive for 20 years, a biomedical engineer designed that device. The breadth of the field. It's not just prosthetics. It involves tissue engineering, growing human skin in a lab for burn victims. It involves neutral engineering, which is creating interfaces where a paralyzed person can move a computer cursor just by thinking about it. What this looks like. It's very collaborative. You spend time talking to doctors to understand what they need. You might spend months testing the biocompatibility of a material, which basically means you're making sure the human body doesn't reject the new implant. It requires extreme attention to detail because a mistake in this field can literally have life or death consequences. How to start now. Focus heavily on biology and physics. If you can volunteer at a hospital or shadow a medical professional, that'd be awesome. Even looking at how-to videos on 3D printing can be helpful, as 3D printing is becoming a massive part of how custom medical implants are being made. Career 6, the digital bodyguard, cybersecurity analysis. We are currently in a global digital war. Every second, every day, hackers are trying to break into systems that run our world, hospitals, power plants, and banks. A cybersecurity analysis is the frontline defense. If you enjoy outsmarting people, if you like strategy games, or if you're a person who always figures out the cheat codes, this is a career you should look into. A cybersecurity analysis doesn't just reset passwords, they build digital fortresses. Why is this a top career? There is a 0% unemployment rate in cybersecurity. There are more jobs than there are people to fill them. Why? Because the stakes are so high. If a major bank's data is stolen, millions of people lose their life savings. If a power grid is hacked, the entire city goes dark. What the job feels like. A lot of it's ethical hacking. If you are literally paid to try and break into your own company system, you find the holes before the bad guys do. Once you find a hole, you patch it. You also spend time teaching people not to get scammed. You are literally the digital guardian of privacy. How to start now. There are many capture the flag competitions for middle and high school students. These are games where you solve security problems. Start learning about Linux and how computer networks actually talk to each other. The more you understand how the internet is built, the better you can defend it. All right, we have one more career left to talk about, and it's the one that is currently eating the world. But before we get there, let's talk about Tiggbee for 1 second again. The reason why we focus on these 7 is that they aren't just jobs, they are skills for life. And if you're enjoying this breakdown and finding it more useful than, let's say, the standard lecture, then please hit the subscribe button below. It truly helps us keep the lights on, as they say, so we can keep bringing you this data-backed career guidance. Career number 7, the architect of intelligence, AI, and machine learning engineer. Finally, we have the apex of modern STEM, artificial intelligence and machine learning. This is the field that is teaching computers how to think and learn. In the old days of programming, you had to give a computer every single instruction. If you wanted it to recognize a cat, you had to describe what a cat actually looked like. With machine learning, you can just show the computer 10,000 pictures of cat and it figures out what a cat is on its own. Why this matters? AI is shifting the fundamental way society works. It's helping scientists discover new medicines in weeks instead of years, which is awesome. It's creating self-driving cars that could eventually eliminate traffic accidents. It's even being used in precision agriculture to help farmers grow more food with less water. So, what this looks like. Contrary to popular belief, you aren't building the Terminator. You are working with high-level math and massive data sets. You are building algorithms, which are basically sets of rules that help the AI make a decision. You spend your time training models and then checking to see if they are biased or making mistakes. How to start now. The good news is you don't need a PhD to start. There are tools like Teachable Machine by Google that let you train your first AI model in 5 minutes using your webcam. Start learning Python. It's the language of AI. Most importantly, keep your curiosity high. AI is changing so fast, and the best skill you can have is the ability to learn new things and adapt. STEM isn't a single path. It's a massive landscape of opportunities. Whether you want to build the next virtual app as a software developer, solve crimes as a cybersecurity analysis, save lives as a biomedical engineer, or protect the earth as an environmental scientist, the foundation is the same. Critical thinking, problem solving, and a refusal to stop asking, how does this work? Think of K through 12 as the exploration phase. You don't need to commit to one of these today. You just need to try one. Spend 1 month on a coding project. Spend another month building a simple robot. Spend another month learning about data trends. By the time you reach graduation, you won't just be looking for a job, the jobs will be looking for you. And it's important, even if you spend a month doing something, you find out, oh, I'm not into it, that's great. You found out that you don't love that route, and then you can find another path that you are interested in. It's not a waste of time. If this video helped you clarify the really confusing or let's say cloudy world of STEM for you, do us a favor and share it with a friend who is also trying to figure out their future. The more students we can reach, the stronger our collective future becomes. Make sure you've subscribed to Tiggbee for more deep dives into the careers of tomorrow. Leave a comment below. Which of the 7 careers sound like the best fit for your personality? We read every single comment and we really want to hear from you. Keep exploring, keep building, and we'll see you in the next video.